Hi everybody, it's your favorite professor and teacher, Dr. T. I'd like to introduce myself, especially for this up and coming school year, whether it be in the fall at the college level or at the high school level. I want to let you know why my math lessons make sense, even if algebra never did. I teach the why, not just the steps. You won't just memorize procedures. You'll understand what you're doing and why it works. Visual plus verbal equals clarity. I like to break things down with graphics, visuals, and real life experiences, examples, and plain language that sticks. I like to do step-by-step scaffolding. I like to make sure people are clear about what they are learning, and then I do get you to articulate that to me because it's in your own language. See, when you can say what's going on algebraically in your own thoughts and language, then you are clear about what you're doing. I often try to make real world connections as well. So from calculating speed to money problems, I show how algebra shows up in everyday life. I keep in mind that my lessons are designed for those who I know struggle at math. But I also do a lot of advanced mathematics, so I want to make sure that you get to calculus, if possible. If your last experience was awful in mathematics, I want you to think about how we can make that better. If algebra left you confused, frustrated, or if you felt like you were left behind, that is what I try to make sure you don't feel in my class. There are always multiple ways to solve, so I want to make sure that you are thinking about those ways, because my way doesn't necessarily mean it's your way. I do use Desmos, which is a free calculator, graphing calculator, and ultimately many different types of calculators. I also use TI technology, that's Texas Instruments, which is a very powerful tool that can take you to coding. I also like to make sure students are included, that they have power in my classroom. I also like to speak the human language when it comes to my students. I do not always use textbook language. It is not the essential part of learning algebra. Yes, there's some technicalities that you need. So for instance, slope. When we talk about slope, we're just talking about the change in a hill. Either I'm going uphill or I'm going downhill. That's all we're talking about. How much does it change? And how steep is it? That's it. So I do not have that robotic kind of boring atmosphere in my classroom. I try to make people feel comfortable with the algebra. So I don't want you to think that you're the problem. Traditional math instruction kind of is. And I do redesign the experience to make math feel possible for everyone. Problem solving is important for everyone. I kind of think of myself not just as a math teacher. I'm actually an electrical engineer, but I think of myself as a math healer. And that is what I've heard from my students. I try to blend humor, technology, storytelling, and strategy so that you can actually enjoy learning algebra. If you've ever said, I'm just not a math person, you're exactly who I made this for. This is algebra minus the anxiety. Come as you are and leave math confident. Thank you for watching. And as always, give me a like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you when I do my free tutoring.